Hi there, I'm Loraine Prokopiou and this is our back care, more advanced workout. So we're going to be focusing on the core, building strength and work around the core while we're stabilising and moving arms and legs. I'm working today with an Align-Pilates A8-Pro Reformer. Right now I've got it set up as a tower. I have the shoulder rests in ready because I am going to use it as a reformer a little bit later. But I also have some longer, sort of light medium springs with the loops attached. I've got short, light springs onto the roll down bar, and you'll notice my roll down bar is attached a little bit lower, and you'll see that's so I can reach it when I'm lying down on my back. That'll all become clear in a moment. I'm also going to start using the ball, and this ball is a 55 centimetre ball. So I'm going to lie down on my back, head up towards the tower end of this setup, and I'm just going to rest my calves onto the ball. There we go, that looks great. Oh, this feels nice. All right, so I'm resting the thighs, just dropping down into the sockets. The calves are on the ball and I can actually feel the ball touching the backs of my thighs, and this feels a really lovely rest position. And if you ever need to rest your back at all, this is a great position to do it in. You could even have, if you don't want the instability of a ball, resting your calves on a chair can feel really nice. Anyway, let's get started. So I'm going to take a nice breath in, and then exhale, just release, relax the weight of the body into the bench. And then we'll do that again. Just bringing the focus into the body. And then just bringing the breathing back to a normal size breath and feeling the thighs dropping into the sockets of the pelvis, and using that to hold the pelvis down into a neutral position. I'm just going to keep my neutral position. I'm going to work the breath and focus on the abdominal connection. So inhaling, prepare. And then as I exhale, the abdominals naturally fall. I'm just going to draw my tummy muscles in a little bit, keeping the space in the low back, keeping the pelvis neutral. And just one more of those. And then we're going to do a pelvic tilt. So as you exhale next time, draw your coccyx round into your belly button, gently pushing the low back towards the mat, and then releasing the pelvis to neutral. So I quite often put an imaginary blueberry in the space in the small of the back, and as I roll back, I'm just juicing the blueberry and then releasing to neutral. So as you're working here, it's quite nice on the ball to really feel like you're resting the weight of your legs onto the ball. So I'm really trying to relax those legs and focus into the deep tummy muscles and the pelvic floor to get that pelvic tilt. Just reminding yourself that that's where we create the stability from, and we can just control, that's where we start the control from, and then layer the stronger muscle work on top of that. Nice, and then I'm going to rest there. Just going to bring the arms up, work the shoulder blades a little bit. So just reaching the fingertips towards the ceiling and then release them back into place. And just feeling the movement of the shoulder blades on the chest wall, spine is long and straight and still while those shoulders move. I'm going to take a little hug here, reach the arms out wide, stretch the chest. I'm going to take another hug, and then stretch the chest and just hold the arms wide. Stabilize here through those shoulders, so keeping the arms wide T. Nice and gently roll the knees over to one side and then draw through the waist and head over to the other side. So as I'm working here on the bench, I do need to be aware that if I roll too far, I'm going to roll off. So just keeping that easy connection through the abdominals to control through that roll. Good, I'm going to take one more each side. So I'm just trying to get a bit of a sense of a bit of stretch, but controlling as well how far that ball is going. Returning to the center, bringing the arms up and releasing the hands down by the hips. I'm going to walk the ball away a little bit, placing the heels onto the ball, and then I'm going to do a bent knee fall out here. So keep the pelvis still, taking the knee out to the side, return to center, and then to the other side. So it's just kind of like I'm pivoting on that heel on the top of the ball, keeping everything else still while I move the ball and socket joint at the hip. Stabilizing through the torso, challenging that with the movement of the hip. I'm going to take one more each side here. And the last one. And bringing it back. And then I'm going to bring the feet a little, well actually close together here, heels kind of on the ball. And then I'm going to roll the ball away and then pull the ball back in again. And I'm just checking into the pelvis to stay neutral here as I'm working. This feels really nice. It's easy to control. I haven't got to worry too much about the weight of the legs, but I have got to control them as I'm pushing out and in. I'm going to go one more here, and then I'm going to take it into a hip release. So drop both knees out to their respective sides like a frog, roll the ball away, and then pull the ball in. So I'm keeping the pelvis still, and I'm just moving through the ball and socket joint of the hips, just getting that sense of hip release. And then we will reverse. So you're going to keep the knees together as you roll the ball away, make like a frog as you pull the ball back, and then close the knees to finish. We'll keep going with those. And I'm going to make this one my last one. Bringing the ball back in and rest. I'm going to separate the legs again, not too much actually, and then roll the ball away here and just hold. And then I'm going to pull one knee in towards the chest and then reach it to the sky and then bend and land that leg back in again. Let's do the other side. So bend, just a little reach, unfolding that leg and bringing it back in, just controlling through the abdominals. And then I'm going to try and lift that leg up straight and then control back down again. So I'm zipping up through the tummy muscles, trying to control as I lift and lower. Now you might find that your leg doesn't want to come up quite so high. If it feels like it pulls on your back, then don't let the leg go so high. But you can still work your abdominals, working the thighs and lifting the leg a little lower. So I'm going to go one more each side. And then release. Bring the ball back in again and rest those calves back onto the ball. Take a moment back to feeling the thighs dropping into the sockets, holding the pelvis still. We're just going to do a few ab preps. So I'm going to lift the head and lift the shoulders, looking to the thighs, and then I'm releasing back down again. So I'm trying to keep my pelvis still as I move the upper body. I'm just going to do two more. So pressing the breastbone into the belly, lifting up, working your tummy muscles, and releasing back down. And we do one more, lifting up and then releasing back down. Great. We're going to take hold of that bar now. I'm just going to stay here with the feet resting on the ball just like this. And we're just going to have a little try pressing the bar, roll down bar down towards the thighs and then release. So this is quite nice. I'm getting some of that abdominal work again, a bit like when I was lifting my head and shoulders, but I'm having to work through the upper body and I can relax my head down to the mat, drawing my tummy muscles in. The stronger we get into the spring stretch, the more you're going to feel it into your tummy muscles. And I'm going to do one more. And then I'm bringing that back up. And we'll stay here and we're going to just bring the knees and the feet together and resting the heels onto the top of the ball. Almost the arches of the feet are almost shaped there, but sometimes if you try and curl the feet around too much, you quite often get this kind of cramping into the toes. So try not to let that happen. Good. So I'm going to roll the ball away and kind of let the bar reach back towards the tower. And then I'm going to pull the ball back in and pull the knees towards the knees and the bar towards each other. So everything reaches away and then everything pulls back in, a bit like your double leg stretch. But we've got the ball supporting the weight of the legs. We've got the added resistance of the bar. And we'll do two more. And away. And one more. and away. Same but different. I'm going to change my grip. So I've got an underhand grip, and I'm going to pull the knees and the elbows towards each other and then release away. And again, feel like I'm using my tummy muscles. I'm still trying to keep the pelvis into the neutral position as I'm pulling everything into the middle and release. Now you could, if you want to, add the head and shoulder lift and a release. So these springs are giving me more resistance as I'm pressing into that upper body curve. Nice, and let's do 2 more. And last one. And release. I'm going to let that bar come release down, up, back up again. Bring the ball back in to the center, resting my calves onto the ball. I'm going to bring the arms up and take them out wide again. So for this one, the knees and the ankles are glued together. I'm going to roll the knees over to one side again. Now I'm just thinking a little bit more about controlling the weight of the legs on the ball as that rolls. So I'm controlling the roll of the ball, added with the weight of my legs. And with the knees and ankles glued together, that makes it a little more challenging than previously. And then I'm going to make it more challenging still by bringing my arms up. Keep the shoulder blades onto the mat. Roll both knees over to one side. I cannot go as far, otherwise I am going to roll off. So I've narrowed my base of support here, and I'm really controlling through the waist as I roll from side to side. If you don't like this with the arms up, then leave them out wide. 1 more each side. Back into the center, release the hands down. I'm going to walk the legs out again and have a little bit of separation, and sort of my calves, heels are nearly at near the apex of the ball, and I'm going to roll up into a bridge. So I can hold onto the side here to stabilize. So roll up into a bridge and then roll back down again. Nice and slow, pushing down into the heels, into the ball, and having the feet a little bit of hip distance apart helps stabilize there. And we go 1 more here. And back down again. Now you're going to reach for the bar. Keep the pelvis down for now, and then we just press the bar down towards the thighs using your abdominals, and then control back up again. And let's do 2 more of those, pushing down. Controlling back up again. And 1 more, pushing down. And controlling back up again. Now, can you put the 2 together? So as you push down, you're going to bridge up. Now, of course, I've narrowed the base of support again because I haven't got my hands on the bench, so it makes it a little tougher for the balance work. So if you need to, leave the pelvis down on the bench as you're doing the pull onto the bar again. I'm going to go 2 more here, strong through the center as I'm lifting and lowering, controlling, stabilizing the ball. We've got to work those stabilizing muscles to do all of that. There we go, that's my last one. Just going to hold here and bring the ball back into my center. And do you remember those leg lifts? Okay, we're going to add those with the press of the roll down bar. So push the roll down bar, lift the leg, switch and do the other leg. So just pushing into the bar and lifting the leg. So I'm drawing my tummy muscles in to lift that leg. I'm drawing my tummy muscles in to press into the bar. So both ends are working. Now, if you've squashed your blueberry a bit, that's absolutely fine, but just make sure you haven't made, it hasn't rolled away. All right, here we go. So I'm feeling almost like I'm tucking my tail a bit here, so I might have squashed the blueberry. That's okay. What I don't want to happen is for that to happen, so the arch of the back. Let me do 1 more each side properly for you. Drawing your tummy muscles in, push, release, last one. Draw the tummy muscles in, push, release. And then we'll release that bar away. And then we're going to come on up into a sitting position, grabbing the ball as you go. So I'm going to transition the ball now to this side, and I'm going to kneel facing the tower again. And we're going to do a few breaststroke preps. So pulling the bar into the belly, drape yourself over the ball and taking the hands to the side. Just let your elbows kind of tuck in and drop down. I'm going to keep my knees on the bench and I'm going to lift the head and lift the shoulders and shine the breastbone light forwards. So we work from this drape forward position and then the extended position, and just feel the length, feel the back of the body working here. A little bit of control through the tummy muscles to stop yourself overarching, and of course I've got to control the ball as well. I'm going to go one more here, and then we make a change, bringing the hands to the thighs. As you lift the head and lift the shoulders, find the reach through the body, and then lower back down. So of course, not having hold of the ball, it gives me a little more challenge here. So I don't roll the ball off. So we're going to make it even more challenging if you want. Now watch it, because if you are working onto a high bench, that can be a little challenge here. Keep the feet hip distance apart. It's going to widen your base of support. So I've got my toes tucked. I'm going to lift and roll the ball forwards and then release back down again. So obviously much lower weight base of support as I'm lifting and lowering, and I've really got to control through that. I'm going to go 2 more. Last one. And then release, land the knees, and let's just drape forwards and take a little breath into the back of the body there. So we're going to use the ball in the same sort of position and the longer springs here with the loops on, but I don't want to get tangled up with the roll down bar here. So I'm just going to fold that back over to the other side. Good. And then coming back to the same position, draping back over the ball, and then I'm going to reach for the straps and probably just hold the webbing here. Kind of depends on how long your straps are, how long your springs are, but see how you get on, see what it feels like. Draped again over the ball. We're going to go back to that kind of dart position, pulling on the straps and then controlling back down again. So we're ramping up the back of the body work here, adding those arm springs in. I'm going to do 2 more like this, from this position of flexion to a position of extension. And we go 1 more. Reach and hold. And then I'm going to try and pull just one arm and then the other. One arm, then the other. Once you've got the rhythm, see if you can do a little reciprocal action. I'm trying to keep my ball pretty still, trying to draw in through my tummy muscles, nice and strong. I'm going to reach both arms and control back down again. Shall we try with the knees off? Let's give it a whirl. Bring it up and hold. Same again, pull, release, pull, release. If you need to, keep your feet on the floor, and then let's see if we can do a little reciprocal action. I'm trying to keep my ball still, stabilizing while I'm working the arms. Back of the body is going pretty crazy here, and then reach everything long and then lower back down again. I'm going to release those straps down now and just take a press back into a shell stretch, bottom back towards the heels, and just roll that ball away. I've worked those arms, so I'm just going to reach and get a bit of a stretch there. Roll the ball over to one side and just reach again for the stretch and release, and we'll do the other side, reaching away for that stretch there. Good, and then coming back, I'm going to pop the ball away now. So we've finished with this one, so I'll pop the ball away, and then I'm coming back down onto my belly, and I'm going to come right over to this edge of the reformer. The bench, the tower, the half Cadillac. I'm going to reach for the strap, and actually in this situation I think I'm going to scoot back a little bit more, so my toes are almost on the wood back here, and then I'm going to reach forward and I'm going to hold the handle. Forehead is down onto the mat, and I'm going to pull this strap back and control down. So I'm just kind of ending up with my fist. Again, in this situation, it sort of depends on the height of your reformer or what you're working on. So my fist is just going to hit the floor, and then I'm going to pull back. So as I'm working this one side, I'm trying to keep long and straight through the spine. So I'm thinking about a long, even length through the waist. And then I'm going to lift and hold and see if I can lift the opposite leg as well and release. So I'm stretching the spring with my right hand and I'm lifting my left leg. I'm keeping my pubic bone connected to the mat and I'm trying to reach my pelvic headlights into the bench. So I'm keeping my pelvis nice and square, keeping the torso square as I'm doing this unilateral work. And then release. And I'm going to release that all the way down. Scoot over and do the other side. So sliding over, reaching for that spring, and I'm holding, pull down, and the fist kind of lands on the floor. Relax through the upper body, drawing in through the waist, pull the strap, and then release. So the fist to the floor, and then to the hip. Fist to the floor, and the hip. And just noticing, trying to keep your torso long and straight as you're working, adding the opposite leg lift. So I'm trying to avoid any twist through the torso, feeling the butt working to lift the leg, feeling the arm working, the back working, and nice and stable through the torso. Here we go, I'm going to take one more. And then lower. And then release all the way back. And then coming up onto all fours and take an easy press back into a shell stretch here. And then we're coming up and we're going to turn all of this into a reformer. So I'm going to take, in my situation here, I've got taking the mat converter off first, sliding down underneath the carriage and the platform extender, and then I'm going to bring the carriage in. Good. So I've got my shoulder rests on, I've got the straps ready for action, and then I'm just going to put on some springs for footwork. So I'm going for, let's have a go. We're going to go green and 2 red. So it's quite a strong resistance. And then I'm going to bring the foot bar up. And then we're going to come down onto the carriage for some footwork. So lying down onto, sorry, that was my, that was me rolling over my microphone pack. So there we are. We're settling into that neutral position here. We're already warm, so we're going straight for some footwork, pressing up and controlling back in again. Let's keep that going. So working the quads here, nice and should be fairly easy to keep the pelvis and the torso nice and straight here because you've got the support of the carriage. And I'm just going to take one more. Controlling back in. We'll take the feet wider into that V shape here. We're going to press up and down. And again, it's just a really nice place to think about keeping your pelvis neutral, working the legs. I've got lots of feedback from the carriage. I can tell where my pelvis is and I can feel the strong work going on through my legs. Nice, I'm going to bring it back in, bring the knees and the feet together. I'm going to go onto the balls of the feet and just push up and down. And I'm going to try and stay on my toes as I'm working here. So I'm up in the high half toe position. I'm going to push up, stay here. And we're going to do 3 calf raises, down and up, down and up. And one more. And bend the knees, bring it back in. We're going to do 2 more rounds like that. So we've got 3 lots of 3. Feeling the calf reach, controlling back up. Last one. And then we bend the knees, return. 1 more round. 3, 2, and 1. On the toes, bend the knees, pull it back in. Again, we take it into a running lift and then alternating those heel reaches underneath. Control through the calves. And as you're working this action, this kind of running action, you're keeping your pelvis nice and still. So you're heavy down into the sacrum, pelvic headlights, a square to the ceiling. We've got 4, 3, 2, and a 1. Tippy toes, bend the knees and return. Nice, we're going to work some single leg now, so I just need to change up the spring. So we'll take the green off, I think. So I've got 2 reds on here, so it's a slightly lighter spring for your single leg work. So I'm going to come on down onto the carriage, and I think we'll go for our 3 lots of 3 again. We're going to bring one leg to your tabletop position, hold it into tabletop, pushing up and down with the other leg. 3, 2, last one. I'm going to take it into bicycle, so push up, reach the free leg away, and a return. And a 1 more. And développé. So you're going to come up and reach and unfold again. Find that stretch. Tap the foot bar, flex both feet, and then bend and reach the leg away. We go again. Reach, control through the abdominals, feel the extra stretch here, and then bend and reach away. So as you reach the foot to the sky, if that knee doesn't go all the way straight, don't worry about it. Control through the tap. We get the extra stretch as you flex both feet, and then bend and reach away. Other side. Tabletop, pushing up and down. Nice and controlled as you're working. And then we bicycle, reach the free leg away, controlling through the abdominals, keeping that pelvis neutral. Développé, bend, reach to the sky, control through the abdominals, flexing both feet, bend, reach away. 2 more rounds. Last one. Really feeling the control, especially as you work that tap. Nice, and control, bring it back in again. Great, we're going to bring the feet into the straps next. So I'm picking up those straps, I'm going to push up half of the way, 1 foot in, and then the other. Great, we're going to reach away, turn out, we're straight into pliés. So you're going to bend your knees, and then control back. So I've got this turn out position, lateral rotation through the hips, and I'm really feeling like I'm controlling the carriage as it pulls in and pushes away. Here comes a change. I'm going to reach and hold, and then I'm going to beat the heels together for 3. A 1, a 2, a 3. And then we go back into your plié again. Reach the legs away, a 1, a 2, a 3. And return. So stabilizing through the center while you're reaching those legs long, a little dynamic beat in the air, reaching away, a 1, a 2, a 3, last one, bend, reach, a 1, a 2, and 3. Finish in your plie and just hold. So find the weight down into the sacrum. We're going to try and keep the carriage still as we prepare for a stag. So we reach one leg out to the side. If you can, point the foot, and then bend that knee and bring it back into your plie. We go the other side, reach and return. Keep that coming, and notice as you take that longer lever out to the side, there's a temptation to want to roll with that. So keep the pelvis still as you work these. 1 more each side like this. So remember, that's your stag position. Pause when you get to the center, reach both legs away. We're going to transition straight into the stag. So we bend one knee, the other leg comes out to the side. Press back into both straps to return. Do it again on the other side. There's a little brain drain this exercise. Working strong with the coordination. You've got to keep both straps, tension in both straps as you work. Quite often you'll notice one will go slack and the other will take all the tension. So see if you can find it in both. I'm going 1 more each side. So lovely inner thigh stretch, and I've got to control through the pelvis as I do this unilateral off-center work, shall we say. Right, finish there. Let's do some circles. Up, out and around. Up, out and around. 2 more. And last one. And we reverse. Again, control through that pelvis, trying to keep that space for the blueberry, so you're protecting the blueberry throughout. So it's so tempting to let the straps just overtake you and you end up squashing the blueberry. Nice, that was my last one. I'm going to come out of the straps now, reaching, find the foot bar, release. And then again, we're going to come on up into sitting, and I'll pop these back on to the upright hooks here. Good, I'm going to come into a kneeling position and work a down stretch now. Nice articulation through the spine. So I'm going to stick with a single red. So I've just taken that second red off and I've just got the one red. I'm going to drop this down a notch as well, because this is quite, otherwise it brings my shoulders up too high. I'll show you. So here, we're onto all fours, and the shoulders are a bit higher obviously than the pelvis, and they would, if it was still up, they would be even higher. So I'm going to stay here, and we'll just start with a cat-cow. So you just cat, tucking the tail, cow, shine your breastbone light forwards, and we can just work here. So notice my bottom is back towards my heels, which again feels slightly odd when you're used to doing your cat-cow on the mat. I'm going to finish into a cat. So here we are. And then I'm going to push the carriage away with my thighs, uncurl from my tail to my head to come out into this extended cow, and then I'm going to pull it all back in again. Pull the carriage in and underneath me, tucking my tail, and notice that my bottom ends up by my heels again. Very tempting to let it lift up. So I'm keeping my head and shoulders, or my shoulders pretty still in space. My head does end up looking forwards here, but it's like I'm sort of rotating around that fixed point as I'm coming out from my cat here to the extended cow, and then controlling back in again. Right, here comes the change. I'm pushing out to that extended cow again, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring everything in with my shoulders, maintaining that shape. I'm going to push away again, and then I'm going to return to that cat. Pushing out to your extended cow, pull that in. I always think this is your Titanic moment. Push away. It's a bit like Kate Winslet on the front of Titanic. Pushing away. Nice, and then control. There's your Titanic moment. And push away. And then control all the way in. So let's do the full expression of the exercise. You take 3 Titanic moments. We pull in for 3, we push away. We do it again, pull in for 2 and away. Last one, pull in and away, and control all the way back. So I'm going to keep going with this. There's that lovely articulation through the spine as we work. I've got to really control my tummy muscles in this extended cow position. I'm working as I control everything out and in. Lots of tummy muscles to support so my back doesn't sag in the middle. Pushing away and controlling and articulating back. And I love this tail tuck. Pull the carriage home. One more round. Push away, uncurl, and then pull in. 3, 2, and a 1, and push away. Bend the knees and bring that carriage all the way home, feeling those abdominals to bring it back. Nice. That's one of my favorites, that one. All right, so we're going to go into a star now. So I'm coming onto my knees about 2/3 of the way up the carriage. My knees are lining up with the headrest. I'm going to lean very slightly. I'm going to let my bottom stick out and lean very slightly to have hold on to the foot bar. The hand is slightly in front of the shoulder line here. I'm still on one red. Pushing out, and these knees kind of stack. Now I'm thinking about this inseam all the way up through my torso. I'm off the stopper before I've even started. And then I'm going to push away and lift this arm to a T shape and then control back. And I'm almost growing through my crown and my head as I return. Good. We'll go one more there. Nice. And then I'm going to take this top leg, land it on here. Then I'm going to lift that leg as I push out and return back. lift as I push out and return back. One more, lift as I push out, return back. Lift and push out and hold. Circles with that top leg, 3, 2, 1, reverse, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in, land that leg and just sweep the arm over the ear for a kind of stretch as you bring the carriage home. Nice, and then release all the way in. Let's do the other side. Careful as you pivot around. Lining those knees up with the headrest so you've got somewhere to go with that leg. Reach for the foot bar, line yourself up. Think about inseam of your trousers all the way up and out through the crown of the head. Push out to the T shape, return, out to the T shape, return. I'm trying to think about keeping my waist nice and long here as I do this, press out and in. Leg lifts, controls back, lifts, controls back. Last one, a lift, control back. Lift and hold. Stay here nice and solid through the center. Circle, 5. Oh no, we did 3, didn't we? Reverse. 3, 2, 1. Reach. Land that foot. Let the carriage come in. Sweep the top arm over the ear for a bit of a side stretch. Ah, nice. Release. Bring it all the way back. We're going to do single thigh stretch and a lunge twist combo. I want more spring. So I'm going to have one red, one blue. We're going to add the platform extender here. Good. Coming on to the carriage, we'll bring one leg forwards, hook the heel over the edge, and we're just going to push out and control in, push out. We sort of had a bit of a theme of 3 today, haven't we? So let's do 3. And then bring it all the way in, hold at the top. I'm going to scoot this foot forward so it's completely flat on that platform extender, hugging the moon. And then I'm going to open the arms out to a T again, feel the reach and the stretch from the kneeling knee to the back hand. And then I'm going to drop that back hand and lift the top hand to the sky, and again just find that lovely reach. I'm going to drop this top hand onto the foot bar, reach the other to the sky. Tucking the back toe, lift the back knee off for a lunge. I'm just going to hold that lunge here. Nice twist. Land the hand. Prepare, pushing down through the arms. Step back with the leg. We push out and in. Let's do a 3. We've got 3, haven't we, today? 2, 1. Now I've got to step the other leg forwards and then I'm going to land that back knee. Reorganize, ready for the single thigh stretch. So pushing out and control in. So because I've got a slightly more spring here than I quite often use, there's a lovely sense of real push through the legs, even push to find that even stretch. Feels great. Return, landing the whole foot onto the platform extender, hug the moon, open out, turning to the other way. So I'm turning towards this kneeling knee here, reaching the arms out. Drop this back hand, lift the front to the sky. Again, finding that lovely stretch. Land the front hand, lift the other to the sky. Back knee's gonna lift, hold, just find that length, pushing with the foot, reaching with the crown of the head. Land that hand back down. We're going to do 3 more long stretch. Push down through the tummy, through the hands, lift through the abdomen to step back. 3 out, and in, and out, and in. Last one. Nice job. Landing those legs, releasing. Great job. Coming all the way up into standing. We'll just take a moment to reset into standing. Oh, that feels great. All right, pushing down through the feet. Let's sweep one arm up. Take it over the ear. And a return. And release. We'll do the other side, up and over. We're going to do one more each side. We're going to add a little change on. Reaching up, coming over, and then I'm just going to slightly twist. So I'm going to rotate and keep reaching the arm and then return to center and bring it all the way back. One more. So it's just a subtle rotation, no need to hang out. Feel you're really reaching into the stretch, so that there's a sense of control. You're not just hanging. You feel strong and supported all the way through those back muscles, and lovely and long. Well done. So for those of you that are interested in what I'm wearing today, I'm actually top to toe Tavi Noir. So I have a vest top here that has an open back, I think, in it, and it's in a colour called Lake, and then my tights have a little snake print on, and they are in garnet, and then my grip socks are Tavi Noir as well, and they're sort of like a grey colour.